Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. This is Marilyn Gale. I decided to wait until the supersized of my 600-pound life until I wanted to kind of give a halfway review with a little bit of my opinions. This podcast is featuring Vianey and Alan. Now, Vianey and Alan are married and they live in Chicago. It was refreshing to see two people who genuinely care about each other. When Alan wakes up, although he is tired, he knows he has to help Vianey with cleaning herself and fixing her breakfast. Now, she's gotten to the point that she can't take a bath or shower. So Alan brings the water and soap and everything to the bed, and he gives her like a sponge bath every day. So that's how they've worked it out. One thing I did notice that they are codependent on each other, and what they do make each other happy is actually helping to kill each other. Like for breakfast, Alan cooks every day. Well, he cooks and they order out food, but he cooks breakfast and it looks more than a pack of bacon. It looks like a couple of packs of bacon. And there's a skillet full of eggs and about 4 or 5 huge pancakes. And they mention that they don't pretty much do a lot of things, actually nothing. Vianey stays in, and her only happiness seems to be eating. And that's like their recreation. Now, Alan says he started to gain weight, just to give you a little background of his past, when his mom and stepfather got a divorce. He appeared that he really liked his stepdad. He said that his stepdad did things with him, so that was a good situation for him. But then when his mom and his stepdad got a divorce, that's when he started gaining a lot of weight. Now at 30, Alan was over 500 pounds. He went on an online dating site, and that's where he met Vianey. They were married when Alan was 35. Now, a little background about Vianey. Vianey's mom would beat her as she was growing up, and she started to eat a lot, which gave her comfort. Her mom gave her diet pills because she was disgusted to have a fat daughter, according to Vianey. Vianey really always thought her mother was ashamed of her. Now, when Vianey was 10, her mom rented a room to a man and his son, and the son would always tell Vianey he was going to rape her. So that kind of set the tone for her as far as being fearful all the time and then eating to feel better. Now, the son did end up raping her, according to Vianey, which led her to eat even more. Eventually, the man and his son moved out, which ended the sexual abuse. Her mother got sick. I think she said something about her kidneys, and it's nothing the doctors could do. So basically, from the hospital, Vianey's mom came home to die. Now, when she died, Vianey was 15. She was in high school, and at that time, she weighed about 400 pounds. Vianey and Alan decided to seek help, and they called Dr. Now and did a video chat with him. And Dr. Now kind of assessed what they weighed. They stood up and kind of lifted their clothes up, and he saw their abdomen, and he told them to, he sent them the 1,200 calorie diet and told them what to do, and told them that they really had to be mobile before he could help them. So they were working on that, working on being mobile, walking. Vianey, Alan would take her hands and kind of walk her around to help her be more mobile. Now, after talking to Dr. Now and them going through the steps that Dr. Now told them to go through, the procedures of losing weight and being mobile, when Alan would go to the store, he would buy a bunch of snacks. And his reasoning was, if he stopped giving Vianey snacks altogether, like cold turkey, she would fall into a depression, which I think she had done before. So he didn't want that to happen to Vianey. So he was giving her the snacks slowly and a little less each day and a little less each day, and to try to wean her. But I think he wasn't being totally honest with himself. I think it was an excuse to have the snacks himself, but who knows, because going cold turkey, I think, is the only way to go. Trying to wean yourself kind of just leads you still to overeat and have a lot of the things that you're not supposed to have. So finally, they felt like they were making progress as far as being mobile. So they decided to go on and move from Chicago to Houston. Excuse me. And, let Dr. know that they were going to move. Now, it was frustrating for them to move. Like on the way, things happened that was very frustrating getting to Houston. Like on the way to Houston, their mattress fell off the truck that Alan was driving. So that frustrated Vianey. And when she's frustrated or sad or anxious or anything like that, she has to eat. So that was her excuse to eat some chocolate. Before they ventured off to Houston, they had got an apartment. So getting there, they knew they would have some place to stay. But when they got there, Vianey packed their recent income verifications in the U-Haul truck that their cousin and best friend was driving. They didn't get the apartment because they needed the current verification and had to sleep in the car until the next day. Now, Alan's cousin Junior and his best friend, I can't remember his name, but they were furious because they had to sleep in the U-Haul truck. No one had any money. It was all spent on motels and eating, and of course, gas. Now, one thing Vianey and Alan need to learn is how to manage their money better. Alan's cousin, he was talking to someone, I'm not sure. It sounded like a female voice on the other line. And he was teed off to the point where he said either he had to walk home or kill himself. I know he was being dramatic, and he was really just kidding, but that was his level of frustration to even say something like that. Now, Vianey's aunt in Mexico did end up sending some money, and they were able to get a motel room. So the next day, they brought the updated, they found the verification, the current verification, and they took it to the apartment office and got the apartment. Now, I don't know where I got this from, but I was under the impression the show paid for their moving expenses, including lodging and food, because Without them getting to Houston, there would be no show. But evidently, I was mistaken, and I don't know where I got that impression, but that's not the case. I guess the surgery is they didn't have to pay for the surgery for both of them, because I don't see how they could afford it. But so I think that the show provides that, but I think that's it. Now, through all of this, I like that Alan encourages Vianey. When it's obvious she messes up, like when she packed the income verification in a box and put it in the U-Haul and then didn't remember where she put it, and obviously had to get up early and look through the boxes, but they found it. But one thing about Alan, he doesn't seem to get irritated when Vianey complains about, hurting, or he's very loving to her. So, okay, let's fast forward. Vianey got approved for her surgery first. However, during the surgery, her heart stopped and had to be revived, and the surgery had to be ended to avoid her heart stopping again. I thought she was gone. When they said her heart stopped and, the doctors working to get her heart to start again, and finally they did. Her heart just couldn't take it. Her body was it was too much on her body, which meant it was too much on her heart, and being under anesthetic. And it's always, difficult for obese people to get operations, anything. And doctor warns them, and I'm sure they signed some papers, like always in any surgery, you sign papers and releasing the doctors from any responsibility if something happens. So I'm sure they signed some papers. Now, when Vianey woke up from the surgery and realized the surgery didn't happen, she was so upset, crying. And and Dr. No tried to, comfort her and talk to her and tell her they had to stop because, her heart stopped for some seconds. Now, one of the doctors in the operating room, the female doctor, told her, "We can always do the surgery, but we can't do it if you're gone." She said it was our choice to let you go or keep you, and we decided to keep you. And I thought that was just so touching that the doctor said, we want to keep you, but if you're not around, we can't do the surgery. And so we had to stop the surgery at that point. And Dr. Now said if they continued, she might not have made it. So that was a good decision on their part, I'm sure, to stop the surgery, close her up, and they wanted to help her build her body up and build up her stamina. Now, at one point, because she wanted that surgery so bad and they had to stop, Vianey had to, psychotherapy was necessary for her. And guess who they saw? I don't know what it is about Lola. Well, yeah, I do. I know what it is. Lola was her therapist. So I try to imitate Lola because she's soft-spoken and hey, and her voice is raised a little bit. "Hey, Vianey, I'm so happy to meet you." I can't do it. I can only do it after I hear her, and then I can imitate her perfectly. "Okay, what is your life like growing up, Lola?" Lola has such a calming demeanor. And I didn't mean to say Lola. That's Lola talking to Vianey. But Lola has such a calming demeanor. And so does Alan. Alan ended up getting his surgery first and said he would trade places with Vianey if he could. And I believe that he would. He is just a total sweetheart. And I really love them as a couple. So let's just fast forward and let me just tell you that after 12 months, Vianey weight was 369. Now remember, her weight when she first went to the doctor now was 595. So getting down to 369 left her with a total weight loss of 226. I think that is fantastic. And it just appeared to me that she got the surgery, which I don't really think that they showed that. I don't remember seeing her get the surgery, but I think evidently with that kind of weight loss, she did get the surgery. Now, Alan originally started out at 648 when they weighed him in Dr. Now's office. And after 12 months, he weighed 376 with a total weight loss of 272. So this couple, like I said, I like them as a couple. Alan is very loving towards his wife. He loves his wife. And at the end of this episode, they're still on their diets. He's on she's eating chicken and it looked like he was still on his liquid diet. But they were having a picnic, and actually they said that was the first date they'd had because they had not went on a date since they'd been married. So this was so special for them. And guys, it's a pleasure to look at this program and see people like Alan with such a great attitude, so loving, so soft-spoken, so gentle towards, that just is his demeanor. Even though Vianey cried and hurt and frustrated and, when the bed dropped off the truck on the way to Houston, she's just saying like, my bed. You guys, okay, I'm getting ready to be silly now. Remember Tyler Perry's movie, I Can Do Bad by Myself or something like that? And the guy that came into the house to help Taraji P. Henson, and he was doing things little by little, and the finished project was he had made a bedroom and fixed it up for Taraji's niece and nephews. And the little boy, and the middle boy was kind of chubby, and he just came in a room because he had not had his own bedroom, his own bed. I don't know. And he looks at the bed and he says, my bed. Now that's that's silly, but that reminded me when Vianey mattress fell off the truck. She said, my bed sounded just like him, only with a female voice. But anyway, that's silly. But that reminded me of that movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. Just go on and watch the movie where Tyler Perry, of course, was playing Madea. So, and a few other stars was in that also. Mary J. Blige, she played in it. And even one of the Braxtons, what was that? Trina, I think it was. At the end, when they were singing, when Mary J. was singing, she was singing background. Okay, I'm all off the subject. Back to 600-pound life. But anyway, it was just a pleasure to watch them. The last 600-pound I did was with Angie J, and she was just so ridiculous. It was hard to do that story without being, leaving away like, you know what, she's just somebody I just gets on my nerve. And I renamed her Angry J instead of Angie J. But anyway, this particular episode was really, I really enjoyed how he relayed to his wife and how loving they were to each other. And, it's, I believe they will reach their ultimate goal, because now, instead of being codependent, they encourage each other. So I'm looking for an update with them, because I think they're going to meet their goals. So anyway, that's what I have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. And thank you all subscribers and people who have watched. I really do appreciate your support. I'm going to end this now, but have a very wonderful, wonderful weekend. And click that subscribe and notification bell so you can get my future podcast. Thank you all and have a good evening.